Hmm. I got chills, they multiplying, and I'm losing control. Cause the power you're supplying, it's electrifying. You better shape up, cause I need a man. And my heart is set on you. You better shape up. You better understand. To my heart, I must be true. Nothing left for me to do. You're the one I want, the one I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Sorry, I'm just
No?
gonna put out this tweet and then we'll get going.
Oh, the one I need. Oh, yes, indeed. Boom, 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 boom. No, okay. It's a good song, Nick. It's a good song.
I don't know that song.
It's okay. He's not from the U.S. This is understandable. Don't be upset that he doesn't know Grease.
Oh, I
John
fucking hate
Travolta.
Grease. First song opens and talks about rape. Like I'm not about to watch a movie that talks about that's just very open about stuff like that. I mean, I get it was for the time, but I have no interest in supporting that right now.
Oh damn! I didn't know about this. What the fuck are you
I
talking
mean, it's
about?
only the one line, but like that's enough for me. That's a little creepy already. Grease opening song. I've talked about this plenty to people. Um, is that Tell Me More song? Did she put up a fight? I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Oh damn!
Yeah, no, I was out after that. Somebody tried to put it on. I'm like, did she put up a fight? What the fuck? Kind of like, how creepy must you have been for her to say no? And you want to keep pushing after that? Nah, dude, I'm not dealing with that. Also, I don't like live action musicals.
Hmm. I'm trying to look for what you're talking about. I'm looking at the lyrics.
It's like the fourth stanza. Tell me more. Was it love at first sight? Tell me more. Did she put up a fight?
Did you look this up or?
Yeah, Summer Nights.
Somewhere. Heights. Oh man, they all look happy and white.
I mean, that was the thing for that period, right?
Okay, well, shit. I'm just saying for the record, I do like Thriller.
Like the Michael Jackson song?
Yeah, even though I don't like Michael Jackson, I didn't let a serious detail about him ruin an appreciation of a completely separate thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's a little bit different, I think.
Nick, are
Uh,
you gonna put up a fight when I come visit?
Probably, but
I'm
that's
gonna make
mostly in
you
like
fucking finish Zelda. I don't care what you say. You
bro,
can
I
put up a
played
fight.
Zelda. Like I just have one more fucking thing to beat, and then like I'm actually playing it.
All
What
right,
more do
ladies
you
and
want from me?
gentlemen. Nick says he's been playing. He's hoping to complete it soon. I'm gonna present Exhibit A. It's gone. There's no proof. Oh no. Okay, Nick. I believe you. I believe you. Wink,
I'm
wink.
honestly about to sell my copy of Breath of the Wild and delete my save file before you show up. Out of spite.
You know,
I'd do that. My friends call me Petty Warrior 11.
I'm gonna call you Little Richie. Little Richie Warrior 11. Okay. I am pulling myself together. We got this. I'm gonna drink from my Pokemon Detective Pikachu Slurpee cup. Okay. I got this. You got this?
Almost.
Okay.
But also, just to quickly talk about Grease, not the controversy of the lyrics, but like I grew up in an Indian family. Our Bollywood movies are better than any musical America could have ever put out. You say that, but I don't think you've ever consistently watched Bollywood movies, so you
I
can't
said
make an
jack
argument.
shit, mister.
Your face says it all, Tyler.
I was hiding my face, thank you.
Our country
You
has
know,
active, like about 20 something active languages, and each one of those languages has a movie industry.
Nick, we get 200 to 300 movies that come out a year that's like, hits the big screens over in the States. I'm guessing realistically there's at least 5,000 amateur B-rated movies that come out as well, maybe straight to DVD, compared to India's 2 million a year. So no offense, if you shit out a bunch of coal, eventually you get a diamond, okay? So saying that you got a couple of good ones is because it's mass produced. We are fine arts, man. Fine arts.
Right, so you're like yogurt. Your culture is borrowed from like 200 years ago, though. You're just like an old lumpy like
Why would you use something
fuzzy.
I'm intolerant to?
All right, fine. You're like a fizzy old loaf of sourdough like starter. Just borrowed and started in another continent and just bought over.
So the most basics of food in, I would say, American and European culture, bread. That is your argument here.
Yeah, because that's all you guys really need, and you get your fucking hard-ons for like bread, whereas we use actual flavors in our food.
What else did we steal, Nick? The fucking wheel? An open torch?
Pretty much. Well, not Americans. No, this is the Britishers now. They
The
took all our
British.
money. They
You
took
just
all
call them
our
the Britishers?
yeah.
The Britishers. Okay.
You never heard that?
No. I
Interesting.
heard maybe Britoners. Londoners, maybe more, for people who live in London, but Britishers.
Interesting. I don't now. I'm wondering if that's even like an actual word. We use it a lot.
I mean, it's to us, it's just the British.
Huh?
Maybe it's slang. I mean, you
Maybe.
guys technically have a closer connection to Great Britain than us at this point up in Canada.
That's
I
true.
mean, our connection, we lost connection in like 1775, I believe. In 1776, we DDoSed ourselves.
Yeah, when you dumped all their tea overboard because they got a hard on for that, and you're like, let's take some of this tea and defile it to make
Sure.
sweet tea.
Blame all the thousands of people that lived in the colonies at the time for 5 people getting drunk and decided that they wanted to put some old Scottish tea into the ocean.
That's factually what happened. Also don't like quiz me on American history. I know nothing because apparently
like-
you guys have won all the wars. Korean War, you know,
Korean
you won
War.
Vietnam.
Vietnam
you
is
won
definitely
the
in
Arabian
question.
War.
There's an Arabian War? I missed that one.
No, you ask the American history teachers. They'll tell you.
History is written by the victors, unfortunately. Or whoever produces the most books.
All right, this is turning into a Russell Peters show. Let's get on with it, Tyler.
Let's have a Russell Peter moment then. So, do you think that the United States won the Vietnam War?
Bro, I don't even know enough to know say anything about that, but I would disagree.
I would say that if being rebuffed is considered a defeat, then for sure we were defeated.
I mean, that's what happened to the British, so
True.
yeah.
I mean, it was a tactical retreat because of, we didn't want to waste some more supplies on it, but it's still considered a defeat. If I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I realize that I got a hot date and I only have 5 cards left, and I say I start walking away, that's defeat. I'm sorry. That's a forfeit.
Pretty much.
I shouldn't be saying this just in case, to all our Vietnam veterans and families and shit, but yeah. Okay. Anyways, Nick, show's all yours. We have 12 minutes of Grease shaming,
questionable material.
hot movie shaming, war shaming, just general America shaming. I like this.
I mean, somebody's got to bring you guys down.
I mean, I was worried that you were the favorite between the two of us, but I think you just fixed that. Thank you.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't mind telling people the truth.
No.
I'm not in the market of lying to people and get their hopes up and just misdirecting them completely.
I don't know if you are or not. I was like, is he making a reference?
Oh no, I'm not. I am making.
Are you throwing shade at me?
Oh no, not you. Throwing shade at Americans in general.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and I can say these things because I'm in Canada now. So whenever I go down to the States, I have to wear a disguise now. Now, like, my number's out. Like, they have my number now. Like, they put out a hit for me. So it's gonna be.
It sounds like a really syrupy situation.
Okay.
Is that you getting hyped? Are we getting hyped?
I'm trying to.
Is this the extreme cast?
Oh no, not yet. We have to do that someday, though.
We do.
Ready?
I just want to point out that technically speaking, I believe this puts us at our 1-year anniversary of being a podcast.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, because we started May 14th.
May 14th. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
2 more weeks. Okay. Fucking
Hello and
Canadians.
welcome. Fucking Canadians, dude. That should be it. That should be the title. Fucking Canadians.
Nope. I'm not going to put a swear word in the title.
Hello and welcome to episode number 48 of Casual Master Quest. I'm your host for the episode, Nick, and I'm joined by my lovely, beautiful, bassy co-host. I was trying to think of a much better word, but I just couldn't think of it. Hi, Tyler.
Yo, fuck Canadians. I'm just saying that right here.
That's
We
fair.
just
We're
lost-
sorry about that. Is there anything we can do to help you feel better?
No, honestly, it's not even the Canadians. I think it's the people that represent the Canadians. In this case, it's you, Nick. Nick, fuck you.
That's fair.
We have good movies, okay?
I never
You heard
like fuck it. I never said that. I just said I don't like most live action musicals.
The Great Gatsby, The Sound of Music. Uh,
Wow, you're
I
really
can't think-
showing your age here, Tyler.
Hey, those were before my time. I'm trying to think of Roadhouse. Yeah, Roadhouse.
Okay, see, but you have to understand also, like, we grew up in two different cultures. My parents hadn't seen most of these even. Like, I didn't see Fight Club until like 2011.
I mean, that's fair. I'm pretty sure I watched that around the same time too. When did
Yeah.
that
It's
movie come out?
I think it's like 2000, 2001 or 1990 something.
Oh,
It's an old movie.
It's an okay movie. I'm pretty sure it's based off a book too. So
Yeah. It's based off a novel and then it became a cult classic despite not performing quite well.
Nick, thank you, Nick. Nick from in the chat, he's got my back. The producers.
I've not even heard of that one.
How about ooh. Yeah, it has my favorite actor. I always forget the name of. It breaks my heart.
Oh, but it's your favorite actor.
It is legit my favorite actor. The only time I can the only way I can try to remember his name is by looking up the movie Godzilla from 2000, which has my favorite actor. Oh shoot. Production. No, this is not going to help me. Okay, anyways.
Wait, are we talking about the Godzilla where he's running around the streets and it's like the really bad, like good CGI for the time of helicopters like launching rockets at him? And
Like
he's under the city?
it looked amazing at the time, but it did not do all that well. Matthew Broderick. Thank you, Nick.
Matthew Broderick. Oh, this Godzilla. Okay, listen. This Godzilla movie, I had it on VHS, and it was one of my favorite movies of all fucking time.
Thank you.
I love this movie so much.
I got a lot of actors I really enjoy, but my three favorite actors is Matthew Broderick. Nick in the chat again nailed it with the second one, Nathan Lane, which you might know as the voice for Timon in Lion King. I believe is probably the most notable one. Right. For me, it is him and his performance with Robin Williams over in The Birdcage, which is my third favorite actor. I mean, everybody loves Robin Williams, for the most part. I would like to think he's fucking Robin Williams. But yeah, Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane. I would say Tim Allen, but he's I'm trying to think of any good movies. Maybe For Richer or Poor, he was pretty good in. Jungle to Jungle, I guess. I like to say Jim Carrey, but
I grew up watching a lot of Jim Carrey movies. So Ace Ventura, Liar Liar is one of my all-time favorite fucking comedy movies.
Oh man, it stinks because I wanted to do the oh my gosh, I'm actually failing my U.S. history. What is the name of the landmark where it has the 4 president heads on the
Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore. That would be my 4 for Mount Rushmore. But all of a sudden, I see Arnold Schwarzenegger looking at it going, what did I do to not get on that wall? And it's like, oh, crap. Okay. Nick is defending Tim Allen like a motherfucker with the Santa Claus, and then his position in Toy Story is Woody, I believe. No, not Woody. That's Tom Hanks. What does he say in Toy Stories?
I have no idea.
No, Woody is Tom Hanks. Buzz Lightyear. Oh, Buzz Lightyear.
He's Buzz Lightyear.
Jesus Christ. I was like, I was thinking that was Goodman for some reason. Ah, shit, there's Goodman. I'm going to name all my favorite actors. It's sad because
so many wonderful actors.
Every year, I think John Goodman died. And I would get so upset. But then I realized he's still alive every fucking year. It's like, oh, thank goodness he lived.
Who's John Goodman that voices the name's familiar? Who does he play in a movie that I know?
Fred Flintstone, the original one. He's
right.
He's also the voice of the guy that in The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, he's
that goes with
he's
the llama.
Also the voice of
wait, no, not the guy that goes. Yeah, okay. Roseanne,
the voice of Sully in Monsters Inc.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. All right, well that's movies, Tyler. Like we are a fan of movies. Robert Downey Jr. would be one of my favorite current actors, not just
Yes.
because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but because of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's honestly a fucking masterpiece.
There was the discussion I saw where they asked, what would it be like if the character that played Iron Man in the movie was black? And it was like, who could we get to play, that? And then somebody just showed a picture of Robert Downey Jr. as the black guy from
Tropic Thunder.
from fucking Tropic Thunder. It's like
I mean, it works.
it works. I know.
Oof.
I know. Yes, he was Sully in Monsters Inc. Was it Nathan Lane also that was oh shit, the little green guy with Sully in Monsters Inc. Mike Wazowski. I think
Mike
so.
Wazowski,
Mike is the little one-eyed green guy
yeah.
in Monsters Inc. I'm pretty sure that's Nathan Lane.
No, it is not.
Oh?
No, it is not. That voice is Billy Crystal.
Oh shit, Billy Crystal. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
geez.
makes sense. Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so is this a
Yeah,
video
so
game
that-
podcast?
Yeah, this is a video game podcast. Tyler, how's your week been?
It's been, I'd like to say it went out with a bang, so to speak.
I know what this bang is.
Yeah, no kidding. Throughout the week, I do have a D&D campaign tonight that I'm playing in, but more importantly, tomorrow, or whoever's listening to this in the podcast yesterday, I will be DMing a D&D campaign for people. And that is so weird. Nick, you're in this.
I'm in this.
You are a bard.
I'm a half-elf bard.
You are a half-elf bard who wants to personify Loki.
From the Marvel Cinematic Universe, yes.
Oh, specifically from the Marvel Cinematic.
Yes.
Or Cinematic.
Cinematic. Yeah, it's
Yes.
a cinematic.
Marvel American movie universe. Yes. I mean, technically it's worldwide, but who am I kidding? Sorry. The reason why
I mean, sorry, a lot of the movies are shot in Vancouver, but that's okay. Go on, Tyler.
Shit. The reason why we went on that little movie rant there is because before the show, Nick was talking about how I believe the paraphrase phrase was Bollywood movies made a lot better musical movies than America.
And the only other argument I'll make for that point is purely because all of our movies are musicals, so like there's bound to be a lot better quality.
Ah, man. I just wish we had a company that was just known worldwide for making nothing but musical based movies. I just can't. I feel like I could find it if I just look on Disney.
I said live action specifically.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, motherfucker. Guess what we got coming out? Lion King, baby, live action.
I mean
CG, but for details.
Like I'm still gonna.
It's a real line that we taught to sing.
Okay, listen.
America.
I will never argue against the validity of Disney's movies.
I mean, I'll argue some of them, especially the sequels.
I will never argue the validity of most of Disney's movies when it comes to the
Mulan
animated
2.
one.
I'm sorry. I'm just it broke my heart.
I don't like. I've never seen the sequels that are direct to DVD. I'm never gonna watch them.
Direct to DVD. Oh my gosh, you're showing your fucking age. Direct to VHS.
But yeah, no. Anyways, Tyler, the D&D campaign.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We got. I was aiming for 3, maybe 4 people to play this, but
we have a lot of people now.
Yeah, we got 6 fucking people, Nick. I don't even. It's like I'm supposed to do a 2.5 miniature one-shot thing to see if people are interested. And it's like, okay, 4 people. I got this amount of experience stuff for each fight. This should go smoothly and easy. And I was like, okay, I got Nick. I got Brandon. I need at least a third to make this reasonable. So I'll ask David. And it's like I asked David, and David's like, I talked with David. We have lunch. Todd's sitting there. Todd's like, oh, I'm joining. I'm like, okay. Yes. And so I was like, okay, so we got 4 people. That's perfect. And he's like, hey, can I invite a friend? I'm like, maybe. Sure, yes, okay, 5 people. I just got to bump up the difficulty a little bit. And then the fifth guy's like, "Hey, can I bring my girlfriend?" I'm like, "Ah!" Like I have to
Is
lock
his
down.
girlfriend or wife?
I believe Todd said girlfriend.
Okay.
I would. I mean, if it's a wife, I'm sorry, Justin, if you're out there, Justin Shelby. But like it's freaking me the fuck out, Nick. Like 6 is a full party size, but we're talking about you're ready to get down and into the dirty for a 5-6 hour campaign, because it's going to take a lot of time with the turns.
Right.
And my big worry with having 6 people is somebody who wants to shine a little bit with role play, aka a certain bard, is not going to get that chance because everybody wants to say something, and there's going to be 6 people fighting for one thing.
Well, I mean, I did say my inspiration is Loki from the MCU, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be manipulating my entire way through. Sometimes the best manipulation is to not say anything at all.
Oh boy. The shame your greatest manipulation wasn't about Bollywood films.
You know, I talked all that smack, and I fucking hate Bollywood movies. Like, I can't stand them.
I've seen like 20 minutes of 2 different movies at one point, and
Right.
it was interesting because I wanted to watch the special effects that happened.
Right.
And if there's one thing I got to give credit for, if there's something amazing happening, their special effects are pretty on the nose. Like,
yeah, when
how'd
you've
they do
seen
that?
a man kill like an entire like army with a banana, you're pretty much set for anything. And if it also helps, we could probably throw on one whenever you visit, and I'll be watching along with subtitles too. So
Cool, fantastic. That'll be something to look forward to. And it's been slightly busy for me this week. Just I had to do the roughest route for my driving these past 2 days, but I got through it. However, something interesting happened for me, Nick. Something rough, something tough, like a Tonka truck.
like it feel a little gamey.
Oh dear. Sorry. So
That's the only one of those jokes I'm ever gonna throw in.
it's okay. So last night I may have touched a deer. I myself did not. My truck did for sure with
Right.
its fairly large deer guard, and it freaked me the fuck out, Nick. It was facing away from me, parallel with the road, and so I saw it, and I got into the center of the road because it was pretty close on the shoulder.
Right.
And it turned around and looked at me, and I turned my high beams off because deers like to freak out when they see high beams. They
Right.
freeze and then they'll jump last second. Apparently, this fucker did not care because it decided to jump anyways. And then rather than running into the woods that was right next to it, it wanted to fool me by trying to outrun the truck and go across the street. This happens
Okay.
a lot with deer, Nick. I'm not sure how often you have to deal with deer, but if a deer is not like facing you directly, well, sometimes even when it faces you directly, so some reason there's certain positions that if a deer is in, they try to freak out predators by running to the left for some reason across the road. I have no idea why they want to cross the road when they
Right.
could easily stand still or go the other way for safety. But deer just fucking love throwing themselves in front of this truck. And so I was terrified because every time I damaged the truck, whether or not it's my fault, I still got to do a drug test. However, the blessed be, this deer did not do any damage to my truck whatsoever. But there were a couple of caveats that
Right.
I expressed very unhappily in the Discord. So a couple of things. I never hit a deer so hard that it exploded to where there was guts and viscera shot in the air. But this fucking happened. That freaked me the fuck out. I'm very squeamish when it comes to blood and stuff. Like I'm the guy that had extreme difficulty dissecting the cat in the science class when that happened in senior year. And
Wait. You guys fucking dissected a cat?
yes.
All right. Okay.
Have you never heard of that?
No.
Or
I we did frogs, but like I didn't even do it myself. You had to take biology to do it. I didn't take biology in my senior years.
I do believe it was biology in senior year, yeah, and yeah, they took embalmed cats from I don't know where they get them specifically, but you could tell it
Interesting.
was they did it for like 2 weeks, and you could tell because the embalming fluid it smells horrible first off, and that shit will wave through the entire science wing of the high school. So
Right.
this moment you smell that, regardless of whether or not you're going to biology, it's like, oh, I know what's happening over there. But yeah, we had to dissect cats to study muscles and bones and stuff, and
Interesting.
it wasn't that bad until we had to open the gut to
Mm-hmm.
look at its innards. Apparently, embalming fluid doesn't quite reach all the way in there, and so
Right.
having rotting cat guts come at you, nope, I'm good. It was, nope, nope. There was a lot of tears that day, actually. Like there was one girl that found a microchip in the back of its neck. It's like, oh, this one wasn't wild. It was somebody's pet, and I'm cutting it open, and it was just all sorts of tears and stuff. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
anyways, yeah, I murdered the shit out of a deer. There was so much blood that it hit the top of my windshield. Like we're talking 8-10 feet up into the air. This like murder happened. It was vicious,
Right.
and you know, when I got out of my truck to see how much damage happened or if damage happened at all, I didn't expect this because I didn't see the blood at first, Nick. But it was fucking everywhere. It freaked me the fuck out, the sight of so much blood. And what made it worse was apparently this deer had a nice dinner like a couple hours previous because it shit its pants that it no longer had all over my fucking radiator, which meant if I wanted to turn on the air to my truck, it was going to smell like blood and deer shit.
That's
If I rode
fucking tight.
it was the worst 2 hours of that night yesterday. It was not pretty.
As the kids these days say, that sounds very sick and lit, Tyler.
Cool. Fantastic. Actually, I was kind of scared for a second because there's a radar in the front of my truck that helps
Right.
me, and I need it to have cruise control on. Well, I had a time where a deer hit that before at a different time, and it broke that, so I couldn't have cruise control for about a month.
Right.
And so it hit, and that triggered, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, it did damage. It means I'll have to do the drug test. Turns out, the radar was just covered, Nick.
Oh,
It was just covered completely in deer blood and shit, like literally deer shit all over. And so I had to take a paper towel and windshield wipe this shit down so I could have cruise control. That was my week. How was yours?
um, I want to say maybe just a little bit marginally better.
No, it doesn't matter if it's worse or better. I'm just saying it was an interesting event. Nothing truly bad came out of it except for the deer. Also, fuck deer. I said fuck Canadians at the beginning. I was being comedic at best because I do love a lot of Canadians. Harlan Williams, not Justin Bieber so much, but
Nathan
deer.
Fillion. Nathan Fillion. Firefly. Castle. The Rookie. He's the voice of Kate Six.
Oh, yeah, Phil. Yeah, the Kate Six. Okay, yeah, you got me.
Yeah. Okay. um. Um. So, as I've mentioned over the last several weeks, school's wrapping up, and it's actually going to be wrapping up. So if you're listening to this episode, tomorrow's my last exam, and so after that's done, a few days after, Tyler's going to be visiting, and it's going to be all fun times. It's going to be fantastic. But leading up to this, so before my first final, which was on the Sunday, so last Sunday, not the Sunday that just passed, last Sunday for people listening. So for you and me, Tyler, it'd be the previous Sunday, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I believe
so
you. Yeah.
so I'm fucking driving to school a few hours before my exam, so I could sit and just revise and just ready up.
As
And
one
it's a
should.
3-lane road, right? I'm in the last lane, all the way on the left. Driving through a signal. There's a lady at the intersection on the right, taking a right at the signal, going into my direction. All right. So if you're driving through a signal, there's somebody taking a right to go into your direction, going down the same way.
Okay.
She takes a right across 3 lanes right into me. It's a little Prius. She takes the widest fucking right I've ever seen in my life. Not even a semi truck would have needed that many lanes to make that right. She takes a right across 3 lanes right into me. And I'm like, and this was right before a final two. And honestly, I can say honestly, it just threw me off the entire day. Because I'm just cruising along, I'm just listening to music, I'm a little nervous, and then somebody go fucking T-bones me. But fortunately, there was a fourth lane that opened up very briefly that I was able to slide into. So it was more of a paint transfer. So there's no actual damage. Not to her car, not to my car. It was just really pain. But it really just still pissed me off. Like, why do you need that many lanes to take a right turn? And so we pulled over into a parking lot, and I was about to yell at her, and then I saw it was an older lady, and I'm like, all right, you know what? There's no damage done. Just off with you. I don't want to talk to you anymore, and I drove off.
Off with you.
No, pretty much that's what I said. I was like, fuck it, just go away. I'm not gonna deal with this, and I just drove off. Yeah.
Okay, Nick. I was gonna say that Michigan drivers, and maybe New Jersey drivers, and anybody who lives in their state will always say this, anyways. Have the worst drivers, especially around metropolitan areas.
Right.
I've seen a lot of stupid shit happen in Detroit. Happened to me in the past couple of days. Nothing actively describes the kind of shit you tell me every single time we talk about the traffic over in Vancouver. Like, this is stereotype worthy at this point.
Well, in this particular case, like, I honestly believe that we need to have some sort of like enforced driving test take place after a certain age. Honestly, or not even after a certain age. Let's say the moment you get your driver's license, every 3 or 4 years, you have to go in for a knowledge test to learn about the rules and remind yourself about the rules. Because I think everybody needs that, because there's a lot of like confusing areas sometimes. All right, so like, and I think everybody needs to get refresh every 3 or 4 years.
That makes absolute sense. I was going to ask if I should just bring bottled water from now on, because it sounds like something's in it. I'm really nervous with what's going on over here.
And so that really threw me off. I completely forgot the next day that even happened until I actually saw the very light paint marks, and I'm like, and then that pissed me off even more. And then following into like this theme of anger I've had this week, I found out that I might be failing one of my courses.
Jeez.
And there's a course that we shared a few weeks ago where I made the website and 2 videos about sustainability in Vancouver. And so the course was a project management course. So you could hire external people to help you finish your project so the goal was to plan and execute a project. You didn't actually need to do the project, like actually make the project work. You just had to plan and execute.
Yeah.
So the person we hired to do our videos, he backed out. So I had to take it all because I was the only one who had the skills to do it in the time that we had. And so like, I believe I did a good job for the time I had, but it is very amateur work. And so that's one of the main valid complaints that we've gotten from the professor. But the course doesn't actually grade whether the project, it grades whether the project was a success or a failure based on written documentation. So because I was making a website and 2 videos that are essentially documentaries, I told the remaining 4 team members, all right, take care of all the written shit, do all the documentation, do all the written assignments. I'll take care of this. This seems fair, I think. They're like, yes. And I'm like, yes. We agreed. They did so bad. They did so bad that I almost failed the course. Because I didn't have time with all my other courses to check on the quality of the written assignments, on what they were submitting. But they did so bad, I almost failed a course. How do 4 people do that bad? They also had to do social media management, like spread awareness about our campaign, but our campaign was only about a week and a half long. So they only had to make, and I think they did maybe 8 or 9 posts. So amongst 4 people making content for 8 or 9 posts, where I was making a lot of the teaser videos as well for Facebook, they still managed to do so bad we almost failed. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So I sent my prof an email. I'm like, listen, I understand what the course grading is like, but considering the amount of work I did, I think this is ridiculous, and I need to know whether I failed or not so I can plan accordingly. Because taking a course is expensive for me as compared to Canadian students. So I'm like, all right, I just need to know so I can plan accordingly. I ended up with a C, and I'm gonna fucking run with that shit because for me the course was about the project, the experience, and being able to take this course qualifies me to take a project management certification called the CAP-M, which will bolster my employment opportunities once I graduate.
Okay, now did you say Cap M?
Yeah.
I was hoping it was a Cap N, like Cap'n.
Oh no, we can talk
Cap'n
about my
Nick.
captaincy. Yeah,
Huh,
but
Captain C. Okay.
yeah, that wasn't fun. So my counselor had his hands full with me. I was a little bit animated this week.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's like I went through a really rough patch with school a few years ago. And it was during a time where I wasn't accepting any of like the responsibility, the blame. I was shifting the blame onto other people's other factors, and I wasn't really looking at myself and what I had done to cause myself to fail courses. And in this case, it truly was not me. Like I did everything I could based on everything we agreed upon as a team, and I legitimately couldn't do anything. I couldn't do everything. And so in this case, I'm like, this is if I fail, this is some sort of cruel joke somebody's playing on me because I did nothing to deserve this.
Hmm.
But that didn't
Fair.
happen. I didn't allow myself to even think that I failed. It was just a day of anger because the moment you allow that, like everything just goes downhill.
Yes,
So
you
you have
go
to
to the
work on other
dark
things.
side.
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just send an email and we'll deal with it as it comes. But beyond that, I forced myself to start streaming again because I have time, and it's been a month, and it's been good. People have been stopping by. People have been saying hello. People still remember me. And I made it clear like I didn't do this for to make it big or as a career, but like I just enjoyed working within and playing games within the community that I had built or been part of. Um, and so just like for it to actually go well in my first two streams back after so long feels good. So something good did happen.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
My wife actually started asking me when I'm going to start picking up streaming again, and I was kind of thrown off by that. I was like, Amanda, because to me, anytime I do something that isn't spending time with her, it feels like she would get mildly annoyed after I hit a certain threshold.
Right.
And so I feel like streaming would have been over the top because it felt like it was putting a lot of strain on our free time. But yeah, she was asking about it. And honestly, I just feel like being the guy that plays Ocarina of Time randomizer all the day, every day, just would be a burnout for people to watch. So I honestly don't know what to think about that.
You say that, but Fortnite is still pretty high up in the directory, and the game's garbage right now.
True.
You'd be surprised. I think some people are just really into that. Like no matter how seeing the same like areas, levels, enemies all over again. But like we discussed, the interest or the most captivating thing about the randomizer runs, the Zelda randomizer runs, are the puzzles that you solve.
Yes.
And I think that's why people would come more than anything else.
It's amazing how some people, I'm going to name off some names like ZFG or Spike Vegeta, one of the more notable people who play Ocarina of Time randomizer.
Right.
They have it down to a science to where they know how many keys are in a dungeon. Once they get this many keys, what is the probability of this chest being an item versus it being a dud? When they know they're locked out of a dungeon because they don't have enough keys to progress. And I don't have that knowledge down pat just yet. Right now, I'm at the section where I'm trying to memorize checks to know, where I can go with what items.
Right.
And it's been fun playing it, but at the same time, it stinks because I based my passion of this whenever I played with Brandon at this point. And I realized I don't like the idea of playing multi-world with him, but I'd much rather do a Ocarina of Time randomizer race with him, so to speak. Because we're still learning together by doing the same steed together at the same time, but it just feels like when we're doing the multi-world thing where we're trading stuff, we're acting like a bunch of dinguses going, here's your shield, here's your Goron bracelet, and we're just having a good time, which is good and all, but I want to learn how to get good at this. And
right, and if you have no competition, it's not going to push you.
Right. Because the only competition in multi-world, it's called BK mode. Apparently, people call it Burger King mode, where if you don't have any checks to do because your partner hasn't done the right check for you to progress, you just sit there and go to the Burger King, which is still an okay food source in America. I understand you don't like it, but yeah, shit. If I do it in a randomizer, if I'm in Burger King mode, it means I've got to forfeit because I fucked up somewhere.
Right.
Shit. But that is a game to talk about for a different time.
Yeah. What? I'm gonna go first with games I've been playing this week because there's only the one game on my list. Um, I'm gonna steal some of that spotlight for myself. Thank you.
Sure. Good
Um,
job, host.
Risk of Rain 2. Picked it up just the other day, and I played it on stream this past Friday, actually. And it fucking sucked away my time, Tyler. It's my
So
first time playing, and I put like 5.5 hours into it.
I've seen other people play this game recently, but I
Yeah.
don't think this is a new game, is it?
This is the sequel to Risk of Rain, and it just came out when Gearbox did its its
Okay.
conference where they announced Borderlands 3. They announced Risk of Rain 2 that day and released that day as well.
Oh boy, they did one of those moves, huh?
Yeah, and it's by I'm pretty sure they're the publishers for it, but it is developed by somebody else. The developers Hopu Games, Hopo Games, Hopu Games, Hopu.
HOPOO. Hopu.
Hopu. Like I'm wrong. I'm correct to have trouble reading that, right?
Prostitute feces. Hopu.
But yeah, they're published by Gearbox. It's basically a 3D roguelike. You pick a character, you go in, shoot shit, pick up items. Items give you different abilities or give you different effects. Items can stack, and you just keep progressing all through different stages.
Until you there's no really like ultimate winning, right? There's no
No,
like
that's like until you die. Like that's really it. So and it gets increasingly difficult. So you can pick a starting difficulty for like an overall difficulty, and then from there it just gets increasingly difficult as you keep going. So each stage you have to find a teleporter. When you turn on the teleporter, the boss is summoned. You defeat the boss, charge up the teleporter, and you move on to the next stage.
this game feels very polygonal in its style.
Like just like the art style, or
Yes.
yeah, it does. It's like very geometric, kind of like sharp edges, kind of like cubes. I kind of get what you mean, but I can't describe it with mouth words.
That's fine. Though I watched you play it last night,
Yeah.
and I made a comment in the chat that the style of play where you got what looks like a skill set of sort, depending on what kind of character you picked or unlocked,
Yeah.
and it looks cool as shit. And you know you're moving around, you're just slicing and dicing and all that stuff. But it feels like I'm watching a generic looking Gundam occasionally, or a just a very high quality RuneScape character.
Right.
And it was throwing me off, and it's like I said, and this is bad of me, if there was anime waifu characters in this game, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
I
you're playing
remember.
as,
Yeah.
this now what other people said and what the conversation devolved into was some very very I wouldn't go as far as to say chauvinistic, but traditional weeaboo perversion. But yeah, I like, if this was an anime game, I would be all over this shit with you, Nick. And I really wish there was like a mod or something I could do where you could play as anime
You can
girls.
make
or
it.
something.
Yeah. Well, so that was the mercenary character, but essentially it's a Genji. It is a ninja. So you've got the ninja, you've got a archer, you've got your standard like soldier, just like a machine gun, and another special ability like his movement utility is a roll away, like a combat roll. You've got an engineer that can put down turrets. You've got a robot, and the character that I was playing to unlock yesterday, the artificer, can launch bolts of fire and bolts of electricity, and that's what I wanted because that's basically a space wizard. Because I'm a warlock main, and so that's what I wanted. But basically, each character has four things. You've got a primary fire, a secondary fire, a utility move, and a movement utility. And so basically, it's all about comboing those, and you can pick up things called equipment, which is basically like an alt in Overwatch,
Hmm.
or a super in Destiny. So you use it once, and it has a large cooldown. And then you can pick up items that reduce cooldowns, that add like explosions to deaths. That there's one called the Happy Mask, I think it's called. When you kill an enemy, there's a chance for it to spawn as a ghost that fights for you. And I'm talking about anything. So you can kill a boss, and there's a chance for the boss to spawn as a ghost that fights for you.
Nice. That'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and all of these items, I think most of these items stack, which means that some of them increase the chances of that event happening, what that item does, or the damage it outputs. So there's one called the War Banner. Every time you level up, so when you start a run, you start at level 1, and then you level up as you go, and that just gives you more health. So every time you level up, you drop a War Banner that buffs you, I think, in movement speed, attack speed, and so on. Now, when you pick up a stack of that War Banner, like another one, and you have a stack of 2, the size of that radius of that effect increases. And it can get to the point, and I've seen this with my teammate, where it'll cover the entire map. So you're just perpetually like buffed.
Oh my goodness.
And the one really cool thing that I learned yesterday while playing is anytime you pick up an item, there's a visual representation on your character that you have that item. So it's kind of like you kill an enemy and you pick up a thing from your enemy as a memento, and you can see it. So that's kind of like there's one called the soldier syringes that buffs your attack speed, and you'll see on your right thigh a bunch of syringes sticking out of your thigh.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's a couple of masks that your character will actually put on, and so I thought that was a really cool addition.
Now, how much did it cost for this game?
I happened to get the game for free. A friend of mine had a code that he was able to pass on to me, but I'm pretty sure it's like $15, $14. So it's not very expensive. It is an early access, but quite polished. So they're slowly adding more, going to be adding more characters to select from, and modifiers for all the different runs. And there's 3 difficulties. There's normal, medium, hard. The hard difficulty, I can't. That's not what they're called. Like the hard is called Monsoon. I can't remember what the first 2 are called.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but that is Risk of Rain 2. I honestly like. It's just like it can get really chill, because once you pick up like a ridiculous amount of stacks of one thing, doing a lot of damage is very easy. But if you don't pick up, like we went on an entire run where we didn't find any healing items, so just killing things was difficult because despite putting out the damage, we couldn't take any damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, and my friend that I played with, Dose, he got 3 stacks of an item that halves your health, but doubles your damage. So the first one got him down to half, the second one got him down to a quarter, and the third one got him down to an eighth. So he was legitimately 1 shot away from dying. So he had to keep moving at all times, but he was melting everything that he touched.
Wow, that is that's a quadruple edged sword at that point. Jeez.
Yeah, so that's the fun of the game. It can get very monotonous. It can get very repetitive. I haven't found that yet because I've only just got the game. But it's all about like the kind of items you can stack.
How many people can play in a group?
4.
4.
Yeah, and the game compensates for that. Yeah, we played with the full group for a little bit. Then one friend dropped off, and then another friend dropped off. And even with 2, it was still fun. And the game compensates for that, where it throws in more items. So as you kill enemies, you get gold. You use gold to open up chests or to open up little terminals that give you items. And so the game does compensate for that. With more players, it puts in more chests. It puts in more enemies, so you can get more gold. It is theoretically possible for you to stay in one area and farm all the gold. But when you move on to the next area, you lose all your gold.
Oh,
so so there are some, like there's one equipment which is an ult where it takes up all the gold you have and uses that as ammo. I think it was called the crowd-funded gun, the crowdfunder or something.
That is that's a pretty good name. I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty good name.
But yeah, no, that's Risk of Rain 2. I do recommend it if somebody just enjoys like shooting shit, like a hack and slash, just chill kind of like game with your friends. But yeah.
Over on my end, I'll get the usual one out of the way. I've been playing more RuneScape 3. I did get 99 in woodcutting. So I believe the last joke was I got 99 smithing, but I was going to lie about it, but then I actually got it. Then I got 99 woodcutting. Next one I'm actually working on 2 right now, which will hopefully lead to my downfall, which is athletics or agility rather, and mining. Mining was a personal favorite when I was a little wee lad back in 2003 or whatever.
Right.
So we will see if I still enjoy it. Beyond that, though, I got hacked. I got my RuneScape account hacked.
Oh, right. Yeah, you told me about that. How did that
Because
happen? Do you know?
I'm a fucking idiot, Nick, because I'm a
Okay.
fucking idiot. So, long story short, I was getting ready to go to the bed, close my fluttery little eyes. I was like, I'll put something on stream to, fall asleep to. And it's like, let's put on something from RuneScape. So I go to the RuneScape thing, and I see this 1,500 viewer channel about a double XP happening right now. And it's like, what? I see, but I didn't even hear any announcements. I know I'm new to the, back in the thing. And so I clicked on it, and it was a read broadcast somebody had put up of a previous one, where they're talking and stuff. And they're like, click link now to, authorize use or something, something a little bit more persuasive than the shit I just said to help remain my dignity.
And it was also late at night.
And it was also 7 o'clock in the morning. I was very tired.
You're super delusional.
And so they had the exact replica of the login screen. And then they're like, just to verify and make sure it's you, can you give us your in-game bank pin? I'm like, that's weird. Why would they? Okay, fine, whatever. I fucking handed them the keys, Nick. The keys to the car, signed the title. I left it in the seat. And all of a sudden I get DOSed. I get DDoSed. And I'm like, what the what the fuck? Oh shit. This is a double XP weekend coming up. I've been bamboozled. And so Nick, I rushed. I realized I was getting DDoS because there's no internet in the house whatsoever. It's like, you dumbasses, I have my phone. I'll just change the password. I changed the password. I added an authenticator on it through my phone. So, 2-step protection. I'm all set. I go to bed. So what turns out is they're already logged in. And they already had access to the bank. So I went to bed thinking I was all safe when they were currently like, ooh, this looks nice. I'll put it over here. Ooh, this looks expensive. I think I'll keep this. I come back in the morning. I'm cleaned out. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm thinking, like, I woke up. I'm like, how the fuck did they get my bank pin? That's supposed to be the safest thing. And I was like, those bitches. Sorry, I didn't mean to use the gendered insult. Those motherfuckers asked me for a verification. And it's like, I was like, I can't ever look at RuneScape when I'm tired. I was an idiot. I lost 137 million gold, Nick. And a bunch of items. I'm pretty sure, like, with all my armor and stuff that they cleaned out, they even took the most inane shit that I was never going to use, but no one will buy it, but they wanted it anyways, knowing they couldn't sell it. I have no idea why. I think it came out to like 400 million and they just left me dust. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, good thing this skill doesn't cost money. I love mining. And then I did it like they call it a treasure hunter thing where if you get like daily keys, you can try your gambling and stuff for free shit. I triggered a top level jackpot bonus. I do it and it gives me 200 million gold just out of the fucking blue. And I'm like, okay, sure, fine. Yeah. It's like, wow, I'm back in the game. Let's do this.
At least that's something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm able to recover within reason, like 200 million. That is like, I know this doesn't mean anything to you. Tier 90 armor and weapon for me, which is like, that's the most I could ever ask for. It means if I wanted to make money by killing bosses, I have enough money to afford that. So I got that, and I got plenty of money to buy the stuff I need for skilling and whatnot. And so, sorry, honey, unless you're the one that try to get me to quit RuneScape again. I'm imagining my wife saying like she's hacking, like, damn, he thinks he did.
It wasn't for that pesky jackpot.
Like I thought. He thought he got DDoS. I just unplugged the router. Damn it. But no, I'm still playing. So we'll see it. Yeah. Nick in the chat is, I believe he's mocking me for being a complete.
I mean, I mean, I remember before, like, one of the reasons why I stopped playing because I was so upset. Before the trade protection got put in, like when you direct trade with a player, you can see a scale that says the value of what you're getting, the value of what you're giving, right?
Uh-huh.
If that's
Still there.
so, yeah. Before that was implemented, dude's like, "Yo, bro, I'll give you mithril armor if you give me 30,000 gold." I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah!" And I was like 12, 13. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Here you go." Logged off the moment I gave it to him, like right then and there. And I was like, "No, my money!" Because you have to understand, I had no idea what I was doing. So for the longest time, I was like level 33, and I was still rocking bronze armor, just going around fucking mining, dude. I was having the time of my life because I had
Hey,
no
those
idea
were
what I was
the days
doing.
of the middle schooler.
Right. And then I finally made all this money. I don't remember how I made it, but I was like, fuck, like, dude, I can buy something. And I'm like, I was talking to this guy I met, and then he basically scammed me. Yeah.
Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Yeah.
go that far into RuneScape 3, but I mean, it was upsetting. It ruined my day for
Oh
like
no,
the
for
first
sure.
few hours.
Yeah.
So, like,
No. Yeah.
when you see all the stuff that you worked on like for years previous just gone, but then I won like the fucking lotteries, in RuneScape.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, there goes all your luck for the year.
yeah, no kidding. better better just turn in my luck base items off and just forget, trying to get anything nice. Other than that, I did pop in the PSVR headset back on. I got and played a bunch of Beat Saber. Still
Nice.
cool as shit.
I would imagine.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice to play. For those, I mean, we've talked about Beat Saber. It's a great music based game where you're just lightsabering up blocks and shit. And I tried to get good. There was a couple of points where it just started randomly giving me ice blocks that you had the duck under, and I had my brother-in-law watching. And I'm sitting there like pop lock and dropping at this point. And it's like, okay, I'm fat. You got to give me a little mercy here. And so I tried another game called I Expect You to Die at the recommendation of Brandon, where you
Okay.
play it as this knockoff 007 secret agent person where you're trying to solve puzzles. I only was able to beat the first puzzle. The second one, I was still like sweaty as shit from Beat Saber. Where like the first one, you're trying to steal a criminal mastermind's car in the back of a cargo jet plane that is currently flying. And you're searching around, you're trying to start the car, and then you got to dodge a fucking laser, and it drops a fucking bomb, which you got to find the sheet in like the back seat of the car, the side of the door, or something like that. Figure out how to disable this bomb, and it's just such like corny different ways of trying to defend yourself and get through this puzzle and figure out what the fuck is going on. And it's kind of like master of disguise situations where you just don't or Austin Powers level shit. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it like this. And it was fun. I got to give it more of a shot. Lastly, the last game I played this week and I beat was Ocarina of Time 3D. I managed to beat it on the 3DS, and it was a long time coming because I've really wanted to get that game a long time ago when I first got the 3DS, but I didn't really ever go for it. And I finally bought it earlier this year, but then I didn't beat it because I'm like, I've been playing randomizers all fucking, month. Why do I want to play the vanilla? But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I had fun. It was a good time actually appreciating how where all the shit is supposed to be is where it's at. And then it was like, hey, do you want to do Master Quest? And I'm like, nope, bye. And that was my week of gaming, Nick.
Yay.
I do have one more game that's actually sitting in front of me, but I wasn't able to start it.
Oh yeah? What are we talking about?
It's a game that people have been talking about. It's been very highly appraised. It's called Katana Zero.
All right, yeah, you mentioned this last night.
I've seen about maybe 30 to 45 minutes of gameplay. It sold me on it almost immediately, and I want to play it so fucking bad, Nick. This game of the idea of being able to use your death as an advantage to understand shit, as well as to dying and time travel, essentially. It's such a weird concept, the way they did it. It's so
it's Devolver Digital, of course. Like, okay.
Hell yes.
A publisher at least, but like I trust anything from Devolver Digital despite not playing a lot of their games because they just seem like a game company that wants to have fun. Honestly.
Yes, it is a fantastic game. and I want to play it, man. I think as soon as we're done with the podcast, I'm going to pop this son of a bitch open. Like just the way it's handled, the graphics, the quality, the motion, the dialogue, especially, is so nice. The idea of seeing blood and guts flying everywhere and guys dropping, shit and fuck bombs everywhere on a Switch. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these graphics, and this is honestly a very pretty game.
But yeah. Anyways, Nick, I think that's pretty much it for the games that we've been playing this week.
Yeah, so from a new game, imagine me actually trying new games and consistently playing new games. I think I'm doing good. I have to branch out.
I mean, you do. I mean, Risk of Rain is great, but you're going to burn out soon, friend. And Kataz Zero, it's waiting for you. I'm just saying.
We'll see what happens. All right,
so for the I'm just saying.
So for the modular segment this week, Tyler, I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Are you sure? I'm not Yamcha, but I am saying.
So this comes from Tyler. It's the we're talking about the 7-Eleven in the U.S. has been making a big advertisement jump for Detective Pikachu. Do you think this type?
I'm sorry.
Oh wait, I didn't even fucking see that. Holy shit.
For the audio listeners that won't be able to see this, I'm currently drinking out of a cup from 7-Eleven that has Detective Pikachu branding all over it. It's pretty cool. Has Ludicolo on it.
It's an interesting choice, I think, as a brand to partner up with.
I cut you off into your question though. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Well, I mean, essentially just what I said. Like, it's a unique kind of like synergy that they have going on. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about it? Because you did link this article here.
When you think of 7-Eleven, you think of Slurpees, you think of your average convenience store over at the US, get your tickets, grab your beer. Things are slightly overpriced, but it's not over the top, and it's just a good local convenience store that everybody knows the name of.
Right.
They don't typically do anything. I mean, they do some occasional advertising and whatnot, but nothing like to this level. Did you just get me is this Mr. Mime flavor? I mean, yeah. My wife just came home and handed me a fucking Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
What a coincidence.
Flavor in it. I'm crying. This is beautiful.
The first thing I thought about when I heard about this was that maybe it was a little bit unusual. But you also have to think about how popular 7-Eleven is in Japan, and how in Japan the standard is like a lot of the convenience stores have like the quality of food and stuff is very good. So it's not like 7-Eleven is seen as, like if you go there to grab a bite, it's not seen as like lesser or not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like 7-Eleven is seen as like a staple. Oh, if you really want some dinner, you can actually go to 7-Eleven, pick up something that's going to be good for you and it's going to taste good.
But over here in the States, I mean, as Nick said, the Simpsons movie had a big thing back in the day. But typically when they do like cross-brand advertising, it's with like other food-based companies like Monster, for example, or for the seasons and whatnot. This is
right.
This fucking level. I mean, Deadpool. Yeah, they've done some Deadpool. I think they did some Avenger stuff, but just the cups and stuff. They didn't have like full-on containers. They didn't start selling fucking Pokemon cards and shit there. It was just, it's mind-boggling.
Well, again, I'm just thinking about maybe what if the big shots who are most definitely related to or are big shots in Japan already struck up some deal with the movie in Japan and it's kind of carrying over.
I mean, that's possible for sure.
That, or like if you're thinking about it's coming out kind of in the summertime, and with 7-Eleven advertising to kids is probably an easier place to do it.
When it comes to 7-Eleven, I would say 7-Eleven potentially is one of those local, but still technically worldwide, if not countrywide, branches where it's like everybody knows what a 7-Eleven is. If there's a 7-Eleven in your hometown, you know how close it is, you know where it is, and potentially you go there pretty often. At least once in a good while. I think I have at least 3, maybe 4 of them that I can pass by on my way to home from any given location.
Right.
And I'm in a small town. And so them having this movie at every single base, I mean, this is better than a billboard in my city at this point because it's in every single place. They're offering a nice deal for $1 for a medium-sized Slurpee that has, Pikachu and Mr. Mime and Ludicolo plastered over it. And they got a cap in, a little section of Pokemon stuff right at the front door. They got a fucking banner on the window over the front door. Like, people are gonna see this, and I thought this was such a genius thing. This was great. Like,
Yep.
I was not expecting Nintendo or whoever is in charge of the advertising for this movie to make such a bold and smart move. Like, the only other thing I'd possibly think of where they could do something like this is like Little Caesars or something like that. Like, make a Mr. Mime pizza, which that sounds horrific, but it has sausage on it. Don't ask where it's from.
Right. Now to talk about the movie Detective Pikachu, when we talked about it when it was first announced, when we saw trailers, now we've been getting more pictures on, like, there was the casting call video, I believe, or the trailer where they're screening different Pokemon to showcase in the movie. And so we're able to see a little bit more details on the different Pokemon that are going to be in the movie. And when we first talked about it, I was hesitant because they don't look like what I imagined they would look like. Not that I'm not going to watch it, and I'm not going to say anything until I do watch it. It's just not what I personally had imagined it to be, and I still feel the same.
May 10th for the people who are interested in the movie coming out. Have you tried a Slurpee before, Nick?
I haven't had a Slurpee in a long time, but I love me like a good like Pepsi Slurpee. Just I'm basic bitch.
No, I mean it's a good Slurpee.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in trying a Slurpee where the flavor comes from Mr. Mime Juice?
Now, what is Mr. Mime Juice?
It's a mystery flavor, as Mr. Mime would want you to think. I believe there's different colors and different brands depending on like where they shipped it off to. I'm pretty sure they just like, in this area we have a huge surplus of tart cherry flavoring that nobody likes. Let's just call it mystery and send it to this region, and that's what we have right now.
Right.
Man, I could suck up Mr. Mime Juice all day, man. Like, I'm drinking it until my head hurts.
That is, in fact, what she said. But also,
it's what I said. Screw you, Mr. Mime's mine. Mr. Mime's him.
I'd actually have to drive by my local 7-Eleven to see if they've started any of that advertising here. So I'd have to see if they're actually even offering that flavor. But I wouldn't mind trying it out.
If I drink too much Mr. Mime Slurpee juice and I get a brain freeze, is that really a brain freeze, or am I just taking psychic damage? I don't know. I've got confusion. It's working.
All right, enough out of you, Tyler. But like, how do you feel about the movie?
The movie
now, as we're getting closer to it.
The amount of recognition that's being popped up for it is both commendable, because I'm pretty sure this is the first time in a very long time that Pokemon has gotten like movie advertising like this. Because as far as I remember, there's like 12, 13 different Pokemon movies that are out right now. And I don't remember seeing any advertisement in any of the normal places I've seen for a Pokemon movie. Yet here I am.
How many of them are Ryan Reynolds? Like, have Ryan Reynolds in them?
I mean, there might be a Diglett that says Diglett by Ryan Reynolds. I don't fucking know. But yes, you're right.
No, but like that's fair. Like the cartoon versus the animated. Like, Pokemon has Pikachu is very much a mascot. Is very much a cultural mascot. Just about anybody and their mother would recognize that. Would call any Pokemon they see as Pikachus, like, oh, is that one of those Pikachus, right? Or like they would at least to some extent recognize it to be as part of the same kind of entity. And so the fact that we're finally getting a live action movie probably means that people are confident enough, or the people making the movie are confident enough in the technology that we have available to us now to be able to render these Pokemon the way that, the creators would have envisioned. So like I'm excited. Like I love I love the franchise, and I'm gonna watch it. It's just visually, it may not look like what I want, but it looks like it's gonna be just a fun movie. I'm just looking to be entertained, and I hope I am entertained. And I'm glad that they're mixing it up. The one thing I am really excited for is that they're injecting Pokemon into normal life. Do you know what I mean? Like you saw there was the one trailer with the Machamp directing traffic, which I
Yes,
thought was fucking awesome.
it was
Um,
hilarious.
like I'm that's the kind of shit I always envisioned. Like, all right, they talk about in the games they talk about how Pokemon and humans coexist and stuff, and I'm like, you don't actually see that a lot in the games. You'll see that sometimes with like Machamp Moving Company, like coming and helping you move your boxes, and Growlithe's tagging along with Officer Jenny's. But like I was always curious in like a big metropolitan city, where did Pokemon kind of fit in?
How about
And
Luminous City?
was that from X and Y?
X and Y.
Oh yeah, with the Go Goats and all the other ones. Yeah, that was pretty cool too. But like,
I know. I'm just making shit up essentially, but yes,
yeah,
you're absolutely right. To see like true real life application of this
yeah,
magnitude.
yeah, and you see that also in some of the movies. But to see it like this, integrated into like CGI into IRL, I feel like gives it a more of a proof of concept kind of foundation. Like, okay, yeah, sure, I can see how this works.
All right, question. In this real life application, let's say we're in this movie like universe. Do you think it would be illegal to battle in the streets?
Yes. I think
No.
you would actually need to have like a trainer license to be able to battle or take part in official regulated competitions. I think there might be underground competitions,
Hmm. Hmm.
or maybe like within a certain like radius. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't be illegal to own Pokemon or to have Pokemon, but like to actually officially battle in
Ownership,
turn.
Nick. Are we about to turn this into a question
Listen, this
of
is a
morality?
debate that PETA has been having for a long time, and I'm not about to bark up that tree, because that's going to be another whole other episode.
You bet your ass PETA's going to be blockading every IMAX theater on May 10th. They will not be okay with this.
Fuck PETA. Anyways,
Nick,
yeah,
are you a gambling man?
yes, a little bit. Not a very
Would you like
good gambling man.
would you like to play a game with me?
Sure.
So, one of the last things I bought from 7-Eleven in regards to the Pokemon thing was they have special Pikachu Detective Pikachu card booster packs. Uh it's two booster packs. One is your standard one, which came from Sun and Moon, so it's
Right.
your usual thing. Uh show it for you. It's just your regular Sun and Moon
Right.
pack. And then you have a miniature Detective Pikachu card pack, which I have no idea what that is. And then a Detective Pikachu flip coin, which I thought was
Oh,
pretty
that's
cute.
nice. That's
Yeah,
really cute.
it's. I mean, I wish I had actual Pikachu on it. It has the ears. So right here, right now, I'd like to open this up and see what they give us, and it will decide if this is going to be a success or not. That is how I'm going to predict the future of this movie. Now, Nick, should I open the Detective Pikachu pack first or last?
Fuck. First.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I would have thought that this, since it's focused on the movie, we should save that for last. But I like your logic right here now. So let's open it up. 4 cards. Nick, what do you think is going to be in this pack as I like rip it in half?
It's gonna be maybe honestly I don't know if it's gonna be like the TGC or the TCG trading card game.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be like that, then you're gonna have some items and like energy cards or whatever. But I feel like it's probably just gonna be all Pokemon.
All right. So I accidentally opened it the wrong way, so I get to see what the first Pokemon is. It is a holographic card.
Ooh,
First of the first cards, or 4 cards, is a holographic Charmander.
yo, that's a big pog right there.
And this, oh my gosh, that is legit from the movie. This is like a real
Yeah,
life.
I figured it
Charmander.
would be like that. Yeah.
What the fuck? So, okay. Card number 2. What? My wife is looking at me expectantly. You want to look at it? Okay. And number 2 is I'm going to look away. I'm gonna hand her the Charmander. And number 2 is a Lickitung, also from the movie. It looks very realistic. It's also holographic, so they really didn't hold back on that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Man, I wonder if this could be used in competitive play. Now, number 3 and number 4 is Psyduck. Oh no.
Oh, the Psyduck looked fucking horrifying in the movie.
He looks so fucking sad hiding under there. This one is also holographic. It's interesting to see how these Pokemon look in the cards. It's actually making me regret this purchase. And the last one, I'm presuming also a holographic, is Detective fucking Pikachu. I got Detective Pikachu as a Pokemon sick card. Let's see. It has 2 attacks. One is Scout, 1 Electric Energy. The Pokemon or your opponent reveals their hand, which makes sense. And it has Surprise Attack for 3 normal or any energy for 80 damage. Flip a coin. This attack does nothing. That is a heavy hit right there. It also makes sense. It would make more sense if it was Danny DeVito, because sometimes he just can't quite land a hit. But Reynolds, that's fine too. So
right,
wow.
So I wonder if the cards are set or if it truly is like a random booster pack. But otherwise, you fucking hit the jackpot, dude, and got Detective Pikachu in your first pack.
So I also wonder that too. I feel like there's probably only like 12, 13 different cards, and maybe they put Detective Pikachu in every one. I don't know. Okay.
Some ASMR for all you ASMR fans.
Yeah, I just toothed the shit out of this booster pack, and I'm going to open it properly so where I don't see the first card when I pull it out. Let's see. We got the online card code thing, which, I will, at the end of this, I'll read off the codes in case anybody who wants to play the online trading card game can get them, because I don't play it anymore, and you guys deserve it. Remember, I got 2 if I can find where the second one is. All right, first card, ladies and gentlemen, for this card draw right here is Energy Retrieval for a trainer. Yeah. Okay, next one is, Crackerrock. Nothing too crazy, but it looks pretty cool. Cool as shit.
That's a cool card.
It's a dark-ass card. All right, here we go. We have, Araquanid. I believe that's what it's called. Nothing too up the notch over it, but still a pretty damn good card.
Nice.
I know I'm showing it to Nick and it's in reverse, and I'm sorry about that, but
no, that's fine.
All right, number 4, Darkness. A Darkness Energy card. They're really
nice.
hitting with the heavy hitters over here. All right, number 5. I'm gonna lose count. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's cute. Wow. I never seen a Butterfree with fucking 130 health points here.
Jesus. That's a heavy hitting Butterfree.
That's a tanky ass Butterfree. What level is this Butterfree? Is that like a level 80 Butterfree? What's going on here? Oh, they don't say the level of the Pokemon anymore?
Did they used to?
Back in my day, Nick, and like ye old times, yeah, they used to put like a level 72 and stuff like that on it. Okay. I have no idea why, just for color or whatnot. And it looks like I found my shiny card, which is a Bounsweet. Nothing really too above the hill, but it is a reverse holographic. It looks pretty cool. Here comes another one. Skarmory. Now, Skarmory is a personal favorite of mine because I'm a huge fan of Steel type.
Right.
And it looks like this is the first time I've seen the Skarmory card. Metallic Sound. Ooh, get rid of
and
all.
And it looks like that's probably staying.
What's that?
And it looks like that card is probably staying.
What do you mean staying? Like staying with me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I say give these cards away, there's a code.
Oh, no, I know. Like, but, okay. Yeah.
Dick moved by the cards part. They gave me a regular Bounsweet for some reason. Like,
unfortunate.
Yes, because I need a shining brother that will be recognized by all, and then here's the normal middle child.
Another one to live in its shadow, yeah.
Let's see. This one is interesting. A Alolan Diglett. Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Got to see him in his 3 blonde peach hairs. All right, got 2 cards left, Nick. I'm going to pull them both at the same time, turn them around.
Let's see what they are.
Okay, first one is Dratini. Standard
Ooh,
one.
Look at the little cutie one.
He's a cute little Dratini. Signs of evolution. Search your deck for a Dratini, Dragonite, and a Dragonite. Reveal them and put them in your hand. Jeez, oh Pete. That's scary, Nick. That is quick evolution shit right there. And lastly, a Sandy Gas. The old, I believe it's the miniature version for Palisand or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the poll for this week, guys, by 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Yay!
Nick is asking in the chat if that Dratini was considered a dragon type versus whatever it's normally. Yeah, that has a dragon type insignia on it. And so they do have that type of Pokemon for the cards now, which is pretty sweet. Because before, some kind of cards back in the day, it was like, oh, you got to have 2 lightning and 2 fire to be able to do this attack. And it's like, no, you can use dragon, and dragon covers that. So it's been nice. Anyways, that's pretty much it on I'd like to think for
On the Detective Pikachu side. Yeah. We are moving on to our topic of the show, and it is a little bit of exciting news. Well, to some extent, I have not owned the last 2 generations of this console, but the PS5 has been announced, has officially been announced.
Mm-hmm.
And from this article that I'm reading off of, that we're going to be using, Tech Radar article, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a beast, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a tiny fucking
Just
thing.
a tiny bit. Main details is that it is confirmed as next generation, as we knew, and it is most likely not launching this year. They haven't confirmed a release date, but they said to not expect it at any of their events or E3 2019. But I would wager that we'd see it sometime next year, not considering anything. Like, I just feel like next year is when we're going to get the next wave of consoles. What do you think, Tyler?
It threw me off when this article came up because I don't know who I heard it from. They said something along the lines that it wasn't going to be called the PlayStation 5. So the fact they got this just scrambled everywhere, it's messing with me.
Well, I mean, they have to call it something, so calling it the PlayStation 5 is easier right now because at least they'll know that we're talking about the evolution of the PlayStation 4.
True. A lot of people called the Xbox One before it had an official name, the Xbox 720 or something like that.
Right, so you know that it's going to be the successor. So whatever it is whatever it is going to end up being called. And before we get into discussion of it, I just want to talk very quickly about the hardware capabilities of this.
Over the top.
I just want to mention. So the PS5 is going to have an 8-core AMD chipset based on like current generation Ryzen architecture, a Radeon Navi GPU, like family GPU. The system is going to be built for SSD storage system, 3D audio, backwards compatibility with PS4 games, and PSVR hardware as well. 8K TV support, which I think is overkill and we don't need, but whoever wants that. The combination. So AMD, the issue with AMD has always been, until they put out their new hardware last year and the year before, is that they had very good. They were the best bang for your buck, but if you weren't careful, they would literally burn a hole through your PC because they just overheat. Their power consumption was that high. But they've been fantastic lately. And so the fact that I feel like Sony's probably set up a deal with AMD, and this would allow them to keep it at continue to keep it at an affordable price.
Sony, with their Sony or their PlayStation consoles, have been well known to make sure that their consoles have an 8-core set, starting with the PlayStation 3. To be fair, though, the PS3 specifically, I think only 6 of the 8 cores were used. 7th was left unused for whatever reason, and the 8th one was used for operating system uses. So to have this come back as a tradition at this point, to have an 8-core, processor, right, is both nice. Plus the fact that it's coming from the Ryzen. I'm pretty sure I'm using Ryzen right now on my computer. Yep. I am happy with it. It is pretty fucking sweet. And now they're talking about a graphics card that's coming from the Radeon Navi GPU family. All I read out of that is 2060. Because 2060 for NVIDIA, that is the type of card that it uses. It uses Radeon technology. So the fact they're going for that level of a graphics card, that is way up there. That's scary for, the price. I'm hoping they can get it mass produced, and since it's going to happen in like a year or two, it'll be considerably cheaper by the time the PlayStation 5 comes up. Because if they're implementing this level of technology into it, we're looking back into the Halo days of $5.99 for a console, which is very scary. I would love it. You know, back in the day when the PS3 came out for $5.99, people like balked at it for the most part. Some people bought it, but it was just such a scary price tag. If they show me this shit and it comes out by the end of next year, I'd be okay with 600. I mean, it's a computer at this point that's fucking beefed up the hell and back.
Pretty much. Just a quick correction, just for not to flex on you, Tyler, but
it's okay.
The Radeon Nava is a chipset family from AMD itself. It's nothing to do with NVIDIA. But what probably you took away from that was because they mentioned ray tracing, which NVIDIA is the one that just announced RTX technology.
You're right. That is my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah. But Radeon is probably close to figuring that out themselves too, or AMD, which is what I would imagine, which is why they mentioned it in the article. But I don't know if that is a error on their end. Moving past that, I've always been a big proponent. Like I always like, especially when I'm playing with my friends. Well, we'll talk shit about console players, but I have the utmost respect for console players because I started from there, right? And also console players allow people to play games at an affordable price because not everybody can afford or has the luxury of being able to buy a PC that can handle video games at 60 FPS looking like certain settings. And so I see console gaming as the foundation for a lot of gamers just starting out, and also for being like an entertainment system for either a group of friends or for families. So even if it does bump up by price a little bit, you are correct in thinking that it is a computer at this point, and you have this $600 PC that can play games to a certain level. And if it continues some of the backwards compatibility that they've mentioned already, we're very much looking at a $600 console that will have native keyboard and mouse support, that can support 4K and up to 8K gaming. That's a fucking bargain.
18-year-old me would have been terrified and know that I wouldn't touch this for 2 years. Me right now, I would cancel my Canada trip to get this thing. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't blame you.
No, I would keep going to Canada. I would buy this bitch in Canada and then smuggle it back over the border because
you're better off buying it in the States. It'll be a lot cheaper.
Fine, I'll smuggle it into Canada. I don't care. I'll smuggle it in. Sir, what is this? It's a PlayStation 4 with high-tech decorations on it. It has a name off shit like 8K TV support. It says it right on the sticker on the side. I know it's a PlayStation Pro Plus. I'm sorry. I was making shit up.
No, so I was just reading through this article and I see an interesting point here. Sony's new CEO Kenichiro Yoshida mentioned that released a 3-year business plan for the company that predicted the company's profits would dip in the run-up to 2021. And the article mentions that this is the kind of dip that may come as the PS4 reaches market saturation before the launch of the PS5. And we've all been expecting everybody to announce and start confirming details of next gen consoles, specifically in my head at least. Because it's been that amount of time already. Despite the PS4 Pro coming out fairly recently and the Xbox One X, it has been just about the right amount of time until before rumors and announcements start coming out. And also Cyberpunk 2077. I've strongly believed that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to come out when the next gen drops, and CD Projekt Red, like they did with what do they do it with? But anyways, like I knew they were going to now put it out for the next gen of consoles because they're going to drop it with consoles and PC at the same date. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this brings and what kind of competition this spurs, because as we've talked about plenty on the show as well, Microsoft lives to piss off Sony. This was Cam's firm belief, and I think I at least have aligned with that to some extent because Microsoft does have that kind of capital where they can kind of treat Xbox like a side project, right? Like it's kind of like your little cousin you've given your phone to while you and your the rest of your friends play, whatever on the PS4. Um, and Microsoft has made big power moves over the last year in buying several developers and publishers. Um, but it seems like they might be slightly diverging in their action plan, in their business plan.
I mean, the concept right now of Sony and Microsoft is focusing potentially on the idea of a streaming device versus Sony making the powerhouse console. It's like tradition versus futuristic at this point. It's like I
Right.
don't know which one's gonna be the next standard. It's reminds me of the days of the Blu-ray disc versus the HD DVD fight, which I think we know who won that little debate.
Right.
So I'm hoping Microsoft might be able to do it. My only concern with that route, and I know I'm tangenting very hard here, is the fact that if Microsoft shuts down the computers, your console is effectively dead. Whereas, Sony's PlayStation 5 here, if you were to leave it alone for 20 years and start it back up, it'll be there, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully. Also, I just want to point out, this isn't PS5 related, but it's PS4 related. We didn't bring this up. Yoshida finally can stop being hated by PS We Love You XOXO previous crew because they always crapped on him jokingly for not allowing name changes, which is now there. We can now change your name on PlayStation 4, which is fantastic. So now I can change myself to, Buttholio 91 or something like that.
That's a name. That's a name.
Yes, it is. Or I could be I think his name is Garth's alter ego, Chris Gaines, from popular country singer to heavy metal vocalist that plays a lot of Splatoon 2 whenever he's drinking.
No
relation.
Yeah. So there was a patent for Sony's next project that was recently uncovered. That details some of the details in the patent list that the PlayStation 5 might be capable of emulating PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, and original PlayStation games. Yeah, and PS4, PSVR titles as well.
To be fair, they said that for the PlayStation 4 though. So it's like they tell me that, and I'm still waiting for PS3, backwards compatibility on the PS4. It's not going to happen. So I mean, they can tease me with the hype, but
which I think this is where we can give Microsoft credit to for the Xbox, at least with their backwards compatibility program with the 360 and the original Xbox. It's been a slow growing program, but they have consistently updated it with backwards compatible titles. And I don't know if the same can be said for Sony for the PlayStation. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think we've reached a point where Sony and Microsoft are heading in their kind of different directions. And I think Microsoft is trying to create more of a homegrown kind of family experience, right? The fact that they're still putting effort into their backward compatibility program to bring you old school games, I think is kind of like a testament to that. And Sony is very much focused on delivering you the ultimate gaming, not like a true gaming experience.
Right. Nick, personally, on your end, what would Sony have to make and put into this console for you to consider getting it if you had the funds?
Oh, if I had the funds, they wouldn't have to do anything necessary. I'd pick it up. Like I'd pick up a PS4 first or PS3 because there's so many games I want to play. It's just purely money. Like I'm not partial to any particular console. I really am not.
So, Nick, if there was a Nick PS4 initiative,
I would shoot myself.
With answers, because
rough transition. No, like
I would be like Nathan Drake because I'm gonna quiz the shit out of you on him.
Oh Jesus!
I know, right? Even I'm like, oh Jesus! Even I'm like, oh God! You would have to have your alter ego Nick in the chat here to be by your side as your lifeline. I mean, this month, just toot his horn or no, but Nick has been like the horn of truth when it comes to PlayStation knowledge for me in the games. He's been there from what I can tell since day one, and he would be your guy if you ever wanted that help.
Right.
I feel like he should be asking the questions. He would not check Wikipedia. He wouldn't have to.
But yeah, with the PlayStation versus Xbox, the only reason I got the Xbox or pushed for an Xbox was because I played Halo 1 and Halo 2 on my PC, and I wanted to play Halo 3. I needed to play Halo 3. And I also played Gears of War on the PC. I'm like, I need to play Gears of War 2. So I got an Xbox. That's purely it.
Ironically, it's the same reason why I got the Xbox over the PS3 originally. And then I think we said it 6 months later, I traded it in for the PS3.
Yeah, that's legitimately the only reason I got an Xbox 360. That was my console after the PlayStation 2. I love my PlayStation 2. I bought my PlayStation 2 halfway across the world with me. I just need to find a transformer, a step up transformer to be able to play on it right here. But I have it with me. I have the games. I have the memory cards.
There's a couple of things that were different between the NTSC versus PAL version, I think.
So that's the main difference. Hertz, and also I think it's just a different format. So like games, just some. I don't know about the PS2, but for the 360, some games are not region locked, and some games are. So like there's a list out there somewhere where if I went to for us it's EB Games, but it is run by GameStop, owned by GameStop. EB Games in Canada. If I go down there and I just have to look through a list, and I'd be able to figure out which games I could play on my PAL 360. And I also had to use a different HDMI cable because the HDMI cable that I bought from home wasn't working with the monitor that I bought here, which I found weird. But yeah, there are a couple of hardware differences, but really it wasn't such a big deal. And I, for whatever reason, had the foresight when I bought my Nintendo 3DS, I bought the American version. So I wouldn't have any issues when I figured I, for whatever reason, had blind faith that I would be moving out here to North America. So I figured I wouldn't have any issues when I did end up buying, the next Pokemon games or whatever. So I bought the NTSC 3DS version, which also happened to be cheaper because nobody wanted to buy it because nobody had a reason to buy it. But I'm like, aha, motherfuckers, I'm gonna need it, so I bought it. And that was in 2013, I think.
God bless region free shit nowadays, man. Like,
yeah, thank God for that. It's made shit so much easier.
I mean, I understand back in the day, but it's antiquated. It's old fashioned.
Yeah.
We are worldly now when it comes to delivering our games and shit. So I'm really glad they finally got rid of that shit. Is there any last thoughts you want to give about the PS5? I know you're the host.
Not specifically the PS5, but I was just gonna say I'm very excited for when Cyberpunk really does come out. There are a few developers and studios and publishers that I can 100% get behind, and CD Projekt Red is one of them. It's supposed to be CD Projekt Red,
CG,
because they're
because
they're Polish.
Yeah.
Because the J is supposed to be like a Y or an H.
You just gotta tell me Witcher devs essentially, and I'll just say yes. I know.
Yeah. But they did such a good job with The Witcher 3. They put out so much good content. They treat their employees well, and so I'm excited for whenever that game comes out because I really want to be able to play that. But yeah, that's topic of the show, and we're gonna start wrapping up. We're gonna move into game releases, and it seems like it's a little bit of a slow week, but we've got enough here. Tyler, which ones do you want to take?
Oh boy, how about I take the first three?
All right.
Okay. We do have 3 games on my end that I'm going to say, I guess. There's really no order to that number 3 there. Coming out on the 23rd, which is going to be Tuesday, we have 2 games. First one is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, coming out for the Switch, which is a bit of an oddball, but it, shows Switch is capable of those kind of games. More importantly, though, at least in my head, sorry for the Dragon, the Double D fans here. Mortal Kombat 11 is coming out this Tuesday. If this is correct, and I honestly, Nick, if you could double check that, because a game as big as this to be coming out this Tuesday, I mean, people have been kind of hyped up about this game, and I would like to think.
Yeah, this is correct. I believe a lot of people have already received their limited editions. With
Wow,
like the box
really?
and the statues and stuff. I believe so. I've been seeing pictures on social media over the last few days.
Mm,
But yeah, this game is launching on the 23rd.
fucking sweet. Coming out for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and also Switch. Lastly, on my end, Steam World Quest Hand of the Gilgamesh coming out for the Switch on the 25th of April, which is a Thursday. A little weird that all these games are not Friday games, but we do have a few games coming out on Friday, don't we, Nick?
Yeah, so starting on the 26th of April, the next three games are on the 26th of April. We've got Box Boy and Box Girl coming out for the Switch. Box Boy and Box Girl is so the title is Box Boy plus the actual symbol plus Box Girl. It is a puzzle platformer where you create boxes to navigate the world and solve puzzles. So it's a little cutesy indie game from the looks of it. We've got Days Gone coming out on the PS4 on the
Oh yeah.
26th of April. It's an action adventure survival horror video game, so something I will not ever be touching. Tyler,
This
you made an approving noise.
Yes, this is the game that, this is one of Sony's first party titles. It's one of their new ones to be coming out. So this is a big name. Okay, I shouldn't say first party. I know it's coming out exclusively for the PS4. I don't know if this is SCI material or not. But yes, Sony has been putting a lot of eggs in this basket for this game, and we will see the results of it, considering there has been some good amount of advertising for it, but there's been really no major distinction to set it apart from the rest of the zombie apocalypse games that we've been dealing with in the past 4 or 5 years.
Right.
So, oh, and Nick in the chat is confirming for me Studio Ben, which is first party. So this
Okay.
is Sony's first party hand on this.
And then lastly, we've got Super Meat Boy Forever coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch on the 26th of April. This is indeed a full-fledged sequel to Super Meat Boy. It was started as a mobile-only version of Super Meat Boy, but it turned into a full-fledged sequel. So that
Nice.
comes out on the 26th for just about every platform.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. And then this day in gaming for the 22nd of April, we've got a few interesting games here, and these all seem more, except for one of them, which I will talk about heavily. Not heavily, but these all seem like more your kind of games, Tyler. So do you want to start us off with the first one?
Sure. Coming out 3 years ago on the Wii U. Happy birthday, third birthday to Star Fox Zero. The game that was supposed to set the Star Fox world on fire, but everybody was upset because the campaign lasted 5 hours.
That's disappointing. For any game, I think any game having a campaign that short is disappointing.
It was heavily focused on a single player mode versus multiplayer also. So the fact that it ended that short and then that was it, it kind of upset people for a $60 game that they've been waiting for a long time. Let's see.
Next, we've got Portal and Portal 2 combo pack. The launch on Steam 2011, and Portal 2 was just introduced in Japan.
So happy 8th birthday to the
it was 8 years ago. Jeez.
I mean, that was to Japan. I think it was even older than that when it came to us.
I don't even remember when Portal first came out.
I think Portal with Orange Box, which was 2005, 2006 days. I don't know if it debuted on the Orange Box or if it was before that even.
2007.
2007? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It was released in a bundle package called the Orange Box.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Remember when Valve actually made games? Tyler, do you want to tell us this next game on the list?
Sure. For those who remember that Drakengard is a game series, they started off and made a sequel of sorts called Nier. Many people know a Nier Automata, which came out a couple of years ago for the PlayStation 4, but let us not forget the original Nier, which came out in Japan this day 9 years ago. Came out for PS3 and 360.
2010. I feel like, for whatever reason, I feel like the 360 and the PS3 were a lot newer, but they're not.
I mean, PS4 came out in 2012 here, I believe.
Yeah.
It just 7 years old, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, then we've got Guild Wars that came out on PC in 2009.
The first one.
the first one. I don't think I've ever played this.
Guild Wars.
Yeah, no, I've not played it.
Guild Wars and its current sequel, Guild Wars 2, is a massive multiplayer online game. So think WoW style kind of gameplay. Actually, right now, Brandon has been playing the shit out of it.
Oh
And,
wait, no, I actually played Guild Wars 2 a little bit. Never mind. All right, okay, no, I'm familiar with this.
It's a fairly popular MMO, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There's been a lot of issues of like trying to decide to make it free to get more people and lure them with currency stuff.
Right.
But they're known for, you got to buy it first and then you got to get. I mean, World of Warcraft is no better with that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they had a lot of like very light controversy on how MMOs should be handled financially in terms of to the customers, but that has died down many years ago.
Right.
They really haven't sunk into the spotlight recently, as far as I'm aware.
Right. This is again this next game I think is your right up your alley, Tyler.
I feel like it was probably our previous host's alley, but
That's true.
technically between you and me, I would be the closer of the affinity, I guess. It came out for PlayStation 2 in US and Canada for 2008. So this is the 11th birthday of Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3 FES. I don't remember what the FES is, but sure. But yeah, Persona 3. It came out 11 years ago for the Americas. Thank you, Atlas. So that means it's 11 years old to us, which probably puts it around 20 years old for Japan, because it took fucking forever to catch over back today.
That's true. Second to last game we have on this list that came out on Nintendo DS 2007. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Holy shit.
I remember
was 12 years old, dude.
I remember Diamond and Pearl was like I never actually got those games, but those are the games that got me thinking and nagging my parents about getting a DS for when Platinum eventually came out. And so I have a lot to thank to Diamond and Pearl for the kind of like passion I have for Pokemon right now.
Pokemon Diamond, I got Diamond, was the first game that I bought with money that I earned with working, if
Right.
that makes sense. I around 2007, I got my first job at KFC, and with my like first 2 paychecks, my grandma was so proud that I was making my own money that she she drove me all of like a quarter mile from the house to the mall to the GameStop to buy my DS Lite for the first time, and I bought Pokemon soon after with that. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. I still remember it. I actually kind of want to replay it, but I know it's still outdated. It's 12 fucking years old. Oh, man. It was so good. Oh, shit. What is the first game that introduced 3D graphics? Was it X and Y or was it black and white? I don't remember.
X and Y.
Okay.
X and Y was the first one that introduced 3D graphics.
Oh, man. Was it in Durl? Paimon and Durl that you got to try to catch Giratina or Giratina? Or was that later on?
What?
Am I saying the name wrong? Shadow Dragon guy?
No, Giratina, but you said something before that I don't remember
I was saying Gaiman and Durl instead of Diamond and Pearl or something like that.
Oh, I was confused there. I was so confused. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, Paimon and Durl. Have you not heard of this version?
Yeah. No. I don't know whether you could catch. Honestly, I couldn't tell you about Diamond and Pearl whether you could catch Giratina. I do know that.
How are you going to be ready for Short and Swield? Jeez.
Can you not? I mean, being the mascot for Platinum, you could definitely catch him in Platinum. I don't know how it was to catch him in Diamond or Pearl.
If you're able to catch him in Platinum, then that would have been the game that in Diamond that would have been able to catch it. And probably one of my favorite legendaries I worked my ass off to try to catch. So
right.
It was
Yeah, because I remember with Platinum they introduced like a joint, what do you call it? Pokédex, because you had Diamond and Pearl, and then Platinum just fucking tacked on 120 onto the national Pokédex, and I thought that was interesting. Um,
gears are turning in my head. Was Darkrai technically in that generation?
yes,
Then this is
Darkrai, Celestia, Azelf, Uxie, Mesprit. Who else do we have? Um, yeah, those I think Manaphy, Fion,
this is not for me. Wait, what's the little rosebush hedgehog Pokemon?
Shaman. That was next gen. No, that was this gen. That was Gen 4. Shaman was Gen 4.
I'm thinking right there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
this is not for me to proudly admit, but this was the first Pokemon game where I got my hands on a Game Shark.
Did you use the Azure Flute? Because there's also the one for Arceus. Arceus. It was all the same generation.
Because I was able to get all those Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure I had to do bullshit event items that I was never able to get.
Yeah.
So I just got those for myself instead.
Yeah, so I had to wait until I believe it was last year or the year before, where it was Pokemon's 20th anniversary, and they're releasing a legendary every month. So I had to wait until that year to legally obtain and complete my Pokédex.
I wanted Darkrai so bad, but there was no way I was able to get whatever the event item was to trigger to catch him. And I think that's when I was searching so hard on my grandma's internet. I'm pretty sure, how do I get Darkrai? And probably from some foreign board, you just hear this dark voice, cheat. It's like, how do I do it, master? I am Darth Game Shark. I will show you the dark side.
See, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna like put anybody down or you down, but for whatever reason, I didn't want to cheat to get them all, and it's a good thing I did because I think carrying forward the Pokemon Bank, you couldn't carry any illegally obtained Pokemon into it.
That totally makes sense. This is bringing more knowledge and memories into my head. Because there was a Pokemon game that came out for like a Pokemon Coliseum style game that came out for the actual original Wii, where you could transfer Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl over to this to use as your team. Kind of like the ye old days of the Coliseum where you could put Pokemon Red and Blue in, you could use that team. And so the reason why I remember this is the first time I ever tried cheating in Pokemon and getting, the Pokemon without the event items. There was a lot of Pokemon that I tested out hex codes and whatnot to get like shinies and shit. And if the game on the Wii recognized it as a cheating game, it would just turn it into a bad egg. And so
I see. Okay.
So what my friend and I would do is we'd want to battle on the Wii. And so it's like, all right, I want these 6 Pokemon. I'm like, all right, I want these 6 Pokemon. We'd catch them by cheating, of course, using the Game Shark. But if we wanted like a legendary and we got on like Route 17 or something like that instead of the right area, it was like bad egg. I'm like, shit. Yeah, interesting. Well, shit. Good memories. Oh yeah, there's
one last game on this list. Yeah, and I think this was fitting for you to close with this.
I don't believe this is the original version of it, but it is an appropriate version and advancement. In 1994, which makes this 25 years old, in Japan, Puyo Puyo came out for the TurboGrafx CD, which is a Match 4 game. Right. The original Match 4 game, if I were to believe, honestly. Unless you try to count Tetris, but that's a line removal based game, so that's not. Sir.
I'm not about to argue with you.
Change that.
All right, cool.
Cool.
All right.
Nick, and that's the show. Love you.
I love you too, but why?
Anyways, I am Tyler. You can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler.
All right, I'll just get ignored. That's fine.
I'm sorry, I gotta ghost you if you say you love me back. Jeez.
Oh, commitment issues. Aren't they fun? So that's Tyler. You can find him on Twitter at 2timestyler. All words, all spelled together. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at LRWarrior11. Streams, there's no schedule as of yet, but streams will be a lot more consistent and present and happening. And it's mostly just going to be fun times, fun games, just me hanging with my buds. I'm not the most captivating or entertaining streamer, but I just like talking to people. So that's what you get when you come to my channel. Otherwise, you can find the show, Casual Master Quest, several different ways. You can find us through email. Find us, email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com. Send in your comments, questions, or concerns. You want to yell at me, you want to yell at Tyler, or fight me for my hot takes on American media. You can find us on Twitter at MasterQuestPod. Or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Casual Master Quest. Just put that in the search bar and we'll pop right up. Beyond that, Tyler, any last words, any warnings, any plans?
No, this will be the last episode. That's an actual main episode for, I believe, 2 weeks. After that, we will have a bonus episode coming out for you guys next week that will help prep up while I'm out of the country, hang out with Nick. And then we will have, after that, a D&D campaign audio episode, hopefully, provided everything goes well. If not, we'll figure something out for you guys. And if you want to listen to that live, and you're listening to this live right now, that will be happening tomorrow at 5:00 same time. That's pretty much it. I think that's gonna be it, Nick. I think it's been a good run. I think we got some good shit coming in.
I'm excited over the next few weeks. I'm almost done with school. You're coming to visit. I'm doing my first D&D campaign. You're leaving the country in a week. It's gonna be fantastic. That was Tyler. I'm Nick. That was episode 48. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Wait, I can't just end like that.
Forget. You don't ever forget it. Nick, shame on you. Stop the music. Stop the music in this house with Nathan Lane, Robin Williams, John Goodman, who's still alive. He would
Thank you.
The motto.
Thank you very much for listening to Casual Master Quest episode number 48, and don't forget to never stop the grind.
We'll see you next week, guys. All right, I'm keeping it going for the Instagram post
that you forgot to send last week, that I completely forgot to ask for.
I forgot. Yes. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you early, actually.
Honestly, I might have just lost it.
It's probably somewhere up in the Discord, but
probably is.
Let's see. Let's do in real life segment. Skip what you've been playing. Modular segment. Tots.
Yep.
I think we can cover that in a minute.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to take it away, or would you like me to?
Why don't you take it away?
Sure. Hey guys, Casual Master Quest episode number 48 coming your way. We got lots of things happening. Wild stuff is going on. Nick, you had some wild things happen here in college life.
I almost failed a course. I almost got an old lady ran into me with her car into my car. And I've been streaming again. What about you, Tyler? How's life been?
I had an old lady deer run into me. Holy smokes. And I've been working on some D&D stuff for us.
Oh, I'm very excited for the D&D campaign.
Oh man, for the modular segment this week, we got talk about 7-Eleven in the US making a big advertising jump for Detective Pikachu. Do you think this is the type of brand synergy that is successful?
And for the topic of the show, we discussed the PlayStation 5 news. We're very excited to see the evolution for the next generation of consoles.
Oh man, so much technology. Anyways, we will see you then next time on Casual Master Quest.